Okay, this is video number 4, and all we're going to have a look at here is HTML headings, rules and comments. And very simply, as you can see from the HTML in front, I'm actually using something we looked at very early on, which is the H1s, 2s and 3s. I wanted to show you that there are actually 6 headings in all. Those are naturally built in. Later on when you get to know CSS, you'll realise that you can add more if you wish to. But these are the default headings that are built in, and they are really useful to use. They help separate out the text. Simply defined by their prefix number, by the numbers H1, H2 and so on, remembering to close them. They're a complete element, so there's the H1 element running across there. Just to have a look at how that looks, and that's it. And you can see heading 6 gets minute. Now again, at the moment this may be useless to you, it may be way too small, but once we get to CSS you'll begin to realize that you can alter these and make these into your own. Along with heading 1s, the other thing to look at is the horizontal rule, and that's this. It's an empty element. It is HR with a close, HR for horizontal rule, and very simply all that does is give you this straight line across your page. Useful for dividing things up, and all I've done here as well is, if I'd have made this a straight paragraph, then there'd been a very big gap between this line and this horizontal line itself. So what I've actually done in this case is, there's the paragraph start. I've then done a line break. I've just done this break just to introduce, just bring this down to the next line. But clearly I've started off the paragraph. You shouldn't have text that doesn't have an opening statement, either an H or a paragraph marker. But because I've done that and I haven't closed it, I must close it somewhere. So I've closed it after the horizontal rule. I've laid it out this way just so to make it more visible, easier for you to see the horizontal rule. But to be honest, you may decide to collect these together. So do remember that whatever you start must be closed off, and therefore that's the purpose for this thing. Here is a comment. You may notice that the HR tag creates a simple horizontal dividing line, and yet if we look at the page, that doesn't appear. It's not on that page at all. That's because I've used these parts, the less than, the exclamation mark and 2 minus signs, and I've closed it off with 2 minus signs and the greater than symbol. This tag here is nothing more. This set is simply a comment section, and it's very simple. You can actually keep this onto the next line, so as long as I keep that going down here, anything I write is comment, and that can go on for multiple lines. There's no problem with that at all. It's a good way of injecting information into your web pages for yourself, but do be aware that people can see these comments, so don't make anything secret. Don't say don't forget your password is, unless you want them to know your password, which would be silly. Anyway, just to make sure, in case you're wondering, well, how can they see it? Well, one of the simplest ways is if you right click on any web page, you can go to view source and it will show you the HTML. It's a good way of learning HTML. If you see something you like on the web, have a look at the HTML, start to see how they've pulled something together, get an idea of how they built this. You'll notice my carriage returns haven't been in there, the enters that I've put in. That's only because I haven't saved the page. If I go back to here and I save that, if I then go back to this page and reload and view source, then those enters, those carriage returns are in there. Do beware, there's no need, I have said this before, no need to close this program down. Leave it open, just minimize or swap to the web page. Don't need to close down the browser, simply remember to refresh. One of the most common mistakes is to think a page hasn't changed because you've forgotten to refresh or you forgot to save on this page. So that's it, that's just headings, that's the rule statement, and that's comments. Really simple, really short. I hope that helps.